D-Man here.
Yep,
Just telling you, I hope you like this video.
I do.
So let's get in to the video.
Yeah, let's get into the video.
Enjoy.
Yep. Hey guys, D-Man here, doing another review. Um, this one was sort of suggested to me, but not really. On one of my BoJack Horseman reviews, a person asked me if I thought this Wolf Children, if I thought this reminded me of BoJack Horseman. They also asked me if another movie reminded me of it. I will bring a review on that a little bit later, though. Just wait for that review. It's coming out a little bit later. Not today, but a little bit later. Probably this week. um, and they asked me if this show, Wolf Children, remind me of BoJack Horseman, and the regular show if it reminded me of BoJack Horseman. And I gotta say, both of the shows, like regular show and Wolf Children, Wolf Children. Uh, the only thing that reminds me of BoJack Horseman in these is like uh, the furries, I guess, the animal people. That's the only thing that I can think of reminds me of it. I don't know why this reminds you of BoJack Horseman, but to me, like the only thing that reminds me is maybe like the animal people, as I was saying. But other than that, no, it doesn't remind me of BoJack Horseman, and neither does the regular show. Other than the people that turn into animals or people that are animals, I guess. But yeah, it doesn't remind me at all. Um, Anyways, now that we got that out of the way, let's get into the full review. Uh, this came out in 2012, so I'm not going to take too long not spoiling it. I'm just going to do like a quick summary of the movie without spoiling it. I'm going to try not to spoil it and do like my thoughts and stuff on it without spoiling it, and then I'm going to go into spoilers and spoil it. And I'll tell you when that's going to happen. So first, let's get into this quick summary of this movie. So this movie is basically a movie about a single parent, um, that has to raise two children. And the catch is that they're half wolves, so they're basically werewolves that can change at any time. So kind of like lichens off of what's that? What's that movie called again? I forgot what the movie it's called, but they're kind of like lichens. And it shows like the hardships that this parent goes through and her kids until the ending. And the ending, I gotta say, is very lackluster, to be honest, and kind of infuriating to me personally. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Probably in spoilers more. In spoilers more, we'll get into the spoilers. We'll get into why the ending sucks to me in the spoilers. Um, but that's basically all I can say without ruining the movie. Uh, my personal thoughts on this movie. It tries to tug on your heartstrings, and I get that some people would probably love this movie and probably think that it's really nice and really good and like emotional at times. But for me personally, it was super slow and just predictable. And this is my personal thoughts, by the way, so don't get angry at me. But this movie was slow and predictable and just it was just kind of boring, to be honest. It was super boring, super slow, super predictable, and it's just like, oh yeah, I kind of could tell that was gonna happen. Oh, that happened too. I could tell that, and it was just like, how long is it gonna take to get to the next part? I felt like this show could have been done in 10, maybe 20 minutes. Half an hour is pushing it, but 10, 20 minutes, you could have had this like a short of this show, and it could have been just fine. But no, instead they make this like 2 hour movie, and the majority of it is just really boring and slow stuff. But it's just like, oh, but you're supposed to feel for the characters. But due to that, I just couldn't feel for these characters at all. I was just like, oh my god, it's too slow. It's too slow. It's too slow, too boring. It's just too everything. Um, my rating on this: 1 to 10. One being the worst, 10 being the best, five being just average. Um, I'm gonna have to give this a five. This show is just average. It wasn't horrible. It was watchable, but it was super boring, and I would not want to watch this again. It was just super boring, super lackluster, and super predictable, and the ending was stupid as hell. Um, let's get into spoilers so I can actually tell you why the ending was stupid and why it was super boring, why it was super lackluster. Um, so this starts off how you would think it would start off. It's a love story. A girl finds a guy. She finds out he's a werewolf. She fucks him. She gets kids. She fucks him when he's a werewolf, by the way, which is kind of funny to me. Because as soon as that happened, I thought like so when he's a guy, his dick's probably not too big, so so that's like she fucked him when he was a werewolf because his dick probably gets bigger. I'm sorry, I messed up mine, but that's instantly what I thought. When she fucked him as a wolf, I was like, that guy must have a giant wolf dick. I know I messed up mine. I'm sorry, that's where my mind went though. And she also makes out with him when he's like half human, half wolf. He's not like full wolf. He's like half human, half wolf, which they can do, but they can also turn into full wolf. Um, and I was thinking that must be so gross. Like dogs when they lick you and stuff, it's so like drooly and sloppy and stuff. I could not imagine like just sticking like a tongue of like a dog or something in your mouth. It'd be so big and like all this drool and this like gross. It basically like eating their spit. You know, like kissing a human, you're basically eating their spit and stuff like that too. But at least their tongues are manageable. But if it's like a dog's tongue, like holy shit, dude, that's their whole mouth is it's filled up with a dog's tongue. And plus, dogs drool like 100 times worse than humans, or at least some do. You know. So yeah, I'm not gonna uh, stick my mouth. I'm not gonna like start making out with a wolf anytime soon. Uh, just in my personal opinion, I don't know. It seems kind of gross just to have like this giant floppy tongue like in your mouth. Maybe some people would get attracted to that. I don't know. Maybe if I tried it, I'd get attracted to it. But I'm not a bestialist, and I don't know any werewolves. So, but that's just the funny part that I wanted to say real quick. Um, so this goes on. They have two kids, and the dad's there for the most part until somehow he dies. They don't explain how he dies. He just ends up at the bottom of like a sewer kind of river thing in the city. He like the wolf just ends up there, and he's just dead. Did he jump to his death? Like right here, this is it right here. They find him right there. That's him dead. After he tries to run after a pheasant, and she finds him, and she's like, "Oh my God, my husband wolf died." And I don't understand how he died. Maybe he jumped off of the ledge trying to catch the bird because he was chasing a bird because you can see the feathers all around him. Or maybe he just was stupid or something. Or maybe somebody shot him. I don't know. It doesn't explain it. I'm assuming that he jumped off because he's trying to catch the bird and he was a fucking moron because only morons jump off. Especially if he's half human, but people like they're like, oh, maybe his animalistic side got the best of him, which was kind of stupid, but whatever. Okay, let's get into the rest of it. Obviously, um, so she has to raise these kids on her own, and it's very just you could tell what was going to happen next. You could tell that the kids couldn't control their wolf powers. It's like, oh, at first the kids couldn't control their wolf powers. It's like, yeah, I can tell that. And then the boy's really timid, and you're like, I bet the boy's gonna be like the dominant male after a while. He's gonna turn to like full wolf, and he's gonna be like, yeah, I'm a badass. But like for the longest time, he was really timid and stuff like that. So you could just be like, oh yeah, by the end, he's gonna be like awesome and like super badass wolf. And the girl was always like the tough one, and you could tell that she was gonna turn more into humanish. And plus, she was getting the narration, by the way. So, um, and plus, like you could just tell that their life in the city wasn't gonna work out, and that eventually they were gonna move to the country. And then there was a grumpy old guy in the country that was just like, I don't like newcomers, blah 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 blah, sort of thing. um, and she ran out of money, so she had to start growing her own food. And you could just tell that the grumpy guy was actually a really nice guy, and he was gonna help her grow her food and stuff, and so was the whole little village that she was in. Which they did. They helped her. And you could totally tell it was gonna happen. You're like that grumpy old guy. As soon as I saw him, I was like, he's gonna end up helping her grow her own food and stuff because he's actually a nice guy at heart. And he did because it was easy to tell. um, After that, I didn't foresee the fact that the boy didn't actually go to school, but the girl did. I thought they'd have to go to school because almost everywhere you have to go to school because it's not illegal, because it's illegal for your kids not to go to school at a certain age, except maybe in some like places. But where I live in Canada, if your kid's a certain age, they have to go to school by law. I think it's like 16 when you can finally get out of school. You can say I don't want to go to school anymore, and then you don't have to go to school anymore because you're able to decide it yourself. But prior to that, until the age of 15, you have to go to school, or else like you can get in trouble, and your parents can get in trouble for like child abuse. But supposedly here they don't have to go to school, but the girl does go to school, and the kid starts hanging out with wolves and stuff, or a fox, and then he becomes a full-fledged wolf by the end, which leads into the ending, by the way. So let's just hold off on that. The little girl attacks a boy because he was annoying her, I guess, and she got afraid and stuff. And she turns into like a semi-wolf and attacks him. And then he's like, "It was a wolf that attacked me. It wasn't her." And you could totally tell that that was gonna happen. And at the end, she shows that she was the wolf that attacked him. And you could tell that he was just like, "I knew the whole fucking time. I'm not stupid. I saw you turn into a wolf, you moron." He didn't say that. He's just like, "I knew, and I wasn't gonna tell anybody." And it was supposed to be all sappy and like heartbreaking, but it was just like, "Oh yeah, I could totally tell that from a mile away." um, and at this point, the boy is going like full fledged wolf and stuff in the woods and stuff in the forest. And at this point, you could tell that at the end he wasn't coming home and he was gonna be a full fledged wolf, and he was just gonna go live with the animals instead of coming home. Um, what she does, surprise, surprise, right? Not actually a surprise. Um, so he does. He goes out to live in the forest as a wolf, and the ending is super lackluster and super bullshit. The girl's like, "My mom still lives in that cabin up in the forest all alone, and she's completely content and happy because she knows she raised us right. I become a human pretty much that's going to like school and college and stuff eventually, and I have a boyfriend that knows I'm a wolf. I'm assuming that he's her boyfriend now. Um, the kid that knows she's a wolf, and then I'm assuming that eventually he's gonna like impregnate her, and they're gonna have like their own little story. Maybe that's another thing. Maybe that's somewhere out there. I don't know. And the wolf, the child that turned into a wolf, he's the guardian of the mountain now. He's the guardian wolf of the mountain. And it was so stupid because at the end you could just see her being like happy with her dead husband's picture, and she's just like, "I'm so happy now. Like I'm super happy. My dead husband's picture's here, and my son abandoned me to be a wolf, and I don't see him ever. I'm assuming she sees her daughter every once in a while. But that's the part that really pisses me off. Because your mom's super lonely, just alone in her house. And that's super sad, but for some reason she's content. Which I just can't believe is a thing because I don't know, that doesn't make sense to me. Um, your son doesn't even come to visit you. What a dick of a son. Like, I get that you're the forest and you're like a full fledged wolf now, but you're still half human. I'm still your mother. The least you could do is come and like see me. We still live like pretty close to each other. You live in the forest. I live on this place right here, so you could come see me a bit. But no, the son's a dick. He doesn't come to see his mom ever. Not even in wolf form, even though they live like right next to each other pretty much. I guess his son gets all the wolf pussy he needs. I don't know. That's kind of weird to me. I guess since he's like half human, half wolf, he chose the wolves over the humans. I just even if I was like even if I could turn into a wolf, I, I'm not attracted to wolves. But I guess he is, or maybe he's not. I don't know. It doesn't really explain that part of it. But she, right here, the little girl, at least she has a boyfriend sort of thing. And the mom's just content living alone for the rest of her life, I guess. That's super stupid. But okay, I get it. I get she's content. And she's just like, I did a good job because my husband told me to do a good job in a fucking fantasy that I had when he died. So yeah, all in all, this movie really was lackluster and it kind of sucked. The husband, you were supposed to feel attachment to him, and when he died, you're supposed to feel sad. But they killed him off way too soon, so I didn't feel any attachment, and I didn't feel sad at all. They killed him off way too soon. Um, the child that becomes a wolf, you're supposed to feel like emotions for it, but since it was so long and drawn out, I felt super bored at that point, and I was just like, I can't feel any emotions for this because it's super boring to get to this point. Although you're supposed to feel like, I'm sad, I'm so proud. I couldn't feel that because it was just super long and drawn out and boring. So that's what happened. I felt bored. And at the end, you're supposed to feel like, yeah, the kids went on life and she's happy being alone for the rest of her fucking life, which is really sad if you think about it. Um, but whatever, I guess. Uh, all in all, this movie, it sucked. In my personal opinion, it sucked. It didn't like it wasn't horrible. I'll say it's a 5 because it was watchable, but it's not like something I would want to watch again or anything like that. It was just super boring and just super long and drawn out, and I was just like, ugh, ugh. I'm sorry. I'd like a little bit more action in my movies, and a movie like this, as I said, it could have been done in 10, 15, 20 minutes. Half an hour would have been stretching it, but 10 to half an hour, 10 minutes to half an hour. In that time frame, this movie could have been done. It could have been as short and it would have been like just fine. I would have been like, ooh, that was pretty good. But since it was like 2 hours long, I was just like, huh, huh, that was long and boring. Sorry if you liked this movie. I personally didn't. I hope you liked this review. If you did like, comment, subscribe, and share. And as always, my friends, stay sane. Peace.
Hey guys, D-Man here. Just remind you to subscribe by clicking here. It works on mobile.
Do it.
Or click here to watch my
Yeah.
last video. It also works on mobile.
Right here. Right here.
Just remember,
It's cool.
subscribe and
Yeah,
stuff.
subscribe and stuff. Watch all my videos. Share. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe.
Alright,
Yeah.
bye-bye.
Bye. Peace.